This is Deborah Johnson for Women at Halftime, and I'm passionate about helping women use their untapped skills, resources, and talents to create their ideal work and lifestyle, making a difference in their second half. Deborah Johnson here, and I'm so excited to be here with you today with a very timely and relevant subject for today's times, healthy mindsets needed at halftime in any time of crisis. There's never been a time that we've needed to talk about mindsets more than today with our current world situation, going through something we've never, ever gone through before. My first word of advice is just to breathe. You know, many people are just holding their breath right now. They're worried and they're wondering what's going to come next. And with this pandemic, with our sequestration, with a virus that has really struck worldwide, well, worry brings fear, it brings panic, and causes even physical symptoms. And when you're at the halftime of life, this is usually a time of reevaluation and even reinvention, where you feel the clock ticking, and it's like now or never to pursue your dreams. You know, those are the same sort of feelings that you get during a pandemic. But how do you do it? How do you go on? And it can bring that lost and stuck feeling that you feel during that time of life. And many are feeling it right now because we've been in a crisis. Well, so much of this crisis that we've been through with and still are in as this airs, the COVID-19, there was so much that was unknown at the very start of it. And it didn't take long for all of that panic to set in. You know, I remember going into the Trader Joe's by me, the grocery place where I had to wait in line, of course, to get in, first of all. And I'm watching people in full body suits. They looked like spacesuits. They were walking into the local market, and then with, headgear, everything. And I was like thinking, really? You're just going to have to wash all of that when you get home. It just didn't make sense to me, but people are panicked. There's fear and there's uncertainty. So I'm gonna approach that in this episode, mainly with the healthy mindsets that are needed during this time. And I'm also going to talk just a tiny bit about the new music program that I decided to launch a little bit early, the music membership, Learn Music Again, because music has the power to lower stress. And I'm going to encourage you to find something in your life that will help you lower stress. Now, some people think, I used to take piano a long time ago, took music, but I'd really like to get back to it, but it would just give me more stress at this point. I disagree. I am a really, really good teacher. This has been proven over and over again. And I know how to help people build their confidence and build their skills little by little. And it's so important for you to find something, whether it's music or whether it's something else, to help you face your fear and something that will help you cope. So I will put that offer out there. I do have a free download of a piece of sheet music and an MP3. If you go to learnmusicagain.com, again, that's all connected together, learnmusicagain.com. And as this airs, the cart for this is now open, but at least check it out. Find something that will help you. So here, I'm going to cover some mindsets. I think I'm covering 5. I'm going to look at my notes here. There are 5 mindsets. It's a magic number, it seems, to cover in some of these episodes, so they don't get too long. But our mindset number 1 is just to calm down and to think logically. And when I see people driving by themselves with their face masks on, I realize that they are living in a panic mode. And why? Because there's no one around to infect them, and now they are poisoning themselves with carbon monoxide. Do I have that right? But that's the poison that we get when we breathe in our air and we're not getting all of the fresh oxygen from around us. And we don't want to poison ourselves, but that's what panic does for us. So we really need to take a step back and look realistically at the situation. And I'm kind of laughing at this because I know I'll get comments. Oh, this is what this is the right term for, what you're going to be poisoning yourself with. So that I'm just laughing about that. It's the way my husband, he corrects me when I do something in the financial field a little bit off. So he has one of those minds that sees it immediately. Well, I don't. So, but getting back to this, getting worked up in a frenzy just causes stress, and it can even be more dangerous than a worldwide virus if we let this just infiltrate every area of our life. Now, stress can't directly cause a heart attack, but sudden stress can cause a cardiac event that feels like a heart attack. And I have actually met someone that went through this of a broken heart syndrome. She actually had to go under a lot of medical care because of this, but it was from the loss of her husband of many years, and it caused something that felt like a heart attack, and that's what the doctor diagnosed it. And there's actually a symptom with that. But also, your chronic stress, it can cause your high blood pressure, which of course leads to heart attacks. And as we know, that stress, it can cause overeating. I mean, what happens when you're, I'm just so discouraged. Oh, I need that whole pack of chocolate blueberries. That's actually one of my favorites, by the way, those dark chocolate blueberries. And I keep telling my family that, those are health food. Oh, well. But they can't. That stress can cause that overeating. We know this. And making irrational decisions. It could be even an irrational decision not to do something that really is a good idea for you to do. But you might be just so stressed or have so much fear about it. It can cause depression. And this is the leading cause of disability worldwide. Almost 75% remain untreated. And these are recent statistics that have been put out. And in our show notes and in the article I put with this, I usually will put that reference so you can look that up for yourself. But it is the leading cause of disability. That's depression. And it can hit all of us at some point. Then, of course, there's social media stress, and that can cause social media addiction. And that just causes more stress, as known as techno stress. I really like saying that word, techno stress. But it's what we do when we compare to each other, and we compare what someone else is doing in their business, and we're thinking, oh, I'm not keeping up. I'm not doing enough right now, or my business isn't growing like them. There's so many possibilities here. So we have to be very careful about that. So as we go now to mindset number 2, healthy mindset. Don't be in a hurry to make a major decision. Oh boy. And this is a big one. And especially when you've got a go-getter personality. I'm a type A, and I usually, when I decide to do something, I decide to do it quickly. But when panicked, we could easily jump at solutions we feel could make our situation better. Also, quitting too soon is a big one. That's a decision. You might feel there's no hope for your business ever getting back on its feet. And you might quit too soon instead of looking at other options. And I'm listening all the time to podcasts and reading audiobooks or listening to audiobooks, reading how some of these businesses, they're just pivoting and they're finding ways to give more value to their customers. They're hanging on to them, these brick and mortar places that normally see their clients, and they've put them online. And so there's ways that you can get back on your feet. But make sure that you listen to the previous episode that is on this podcast on Women at Halftime on managing your finances during a crisis. This will really help you. It'll help you with this mindset of just, step back a little bit. Read the article as well. The article is excellent. I put a little more information in there. And to make sure that you hunker down and that you are willing to work in even coming out of a crisis, but you want to be able to cut some things, and sometimes those are good areas that maybe you have people that you've hired that you've been needing to kind of get rid of for a while. It's bad to say, but this is the time to do it. So it will help you make some of those tough decisions right now, and you need to be firm with some of those. The same goes for relationships. What about the couples who suddenly find they have nothing in common? Now, this is a very, very common occurrence at the halftime of life, that there are many splits and divorces. But it can also happen during a sequestration when you're suddenly faced with a relationship, whether it's a roommate or a spouse, and you're stuck together in tight quarters. Oh my goodness. Now and what's sad is I've been hearing about, some of the domestic violence. You need to get away from those relationships. I'm sorry. If you are in one, you need to make that decision and just get away. But also understanding that, there are maybe some decisions you need to make. Maybe you don't have anything in common, or you need to go for counseling. Counseling could be one of your very, very best investments. My husband and I, and he's on these podcasts. I have him in at least once a month. But we've gone through a number of years together. First meeting on a blind date, of course, but we've gone through many changes, and we've decided at several different times, I have made that decision. I do not want to start over. I want to make sure we can work this thing out. And so there's a certain point that you get to, what is it worth to you? So, take that time, take your time. Don't make it a quick decision, and think logically. And when you're in a panicked mode or a situation, you tend to act quickly. So just understand that and give it a little bit of time. So now we go to healthy mindset 3. And I feel like I'm covering all of these so fast because I could spend a separate episode on each one of these because our mindsets are so important. This one I believe in so, so strongly. Write out your thoughts logically and journal. Now, the thought of actually writing with a pen and paper may make some of you panic who are in a little bit of the younger generation, but it's a really important exercise. It's very cleansing. I remember finding my middle school diary. I mean, I had it in this little box. My mom had saved them. And all I wrote every day was what I wore. I wore like what top and what skirt and whatever. It was very, very boring. But a few events were amplified because I just kept kind of writing. I just thought, well, that's the thing I was supposed to do. Plus, diaries were kind of big when I was going through middle school, and they had the little cute ones. But when I was in junior high, which is middle school, I was extremely shy. Actually, I was really extremely shy all the way through school. But I managed to ask a boy who was in choir to the 8th grade picnic, and his name was Sam. And I still remember walking up and asking him quickly and then slipping away. I didn't talk to him until the day of the picnic. I was so scared to even talk to him. I was nervous, and I can still feel that inside. Isn't that funny? But if I had taken the time, really, I just put that in my diary, but if I had taken the time to really write out my thoughts, it might have helped me through what I felt like was a really stressful time. I mean, now I can laugh about it, and who knows if I would have done that even in, junior high school. But I was so nervous, I couldn't hardly talk. And I still remember, I came to him, walked up to him on the day of the picnic, and I said, I hope you like fried chicken. And he said, well, yeah, it'll be fine. I had chocolate cake for breakfast or something like that. And it was like, oh, okay. And, we just kind of sat there sort of. But it would have helped me at least, I think, deal with some of my nervousness. And I would have loved now to look back and see some of those comments. But many are just that nervous right now. They're having to reinvent, regroup, and start again. And whether you're at the halftime of your life or you're just coming out of your business being closed down for months because of a virus, and not knowing if you're ever going to be able to regain clients or regain momentum, you're probably nervous and you're probably panicked and you wonder, well, when could I even journal? But take the time, even if it's 5 minutes every morning, take the time to stop, meditate a little bit, and write in that journal. And definitely write more than what you're wearing every day. I just share that because it's really funny to me now. And some of you are probably smiling because you might have done the same thing. But really, this is one of my favorite quotes. And I think I heard it from a minister in the past. Thoughts disentangle over the lips and through the fingertips. I'm going to say that again. Thoughts disentangle over the lips and through the fingertips. This really works. So pay attention to that. Okay, healthy mindset number 4. Surround yourself with good advisors. And this is a great one for those at the halftime of life. It's well worth calling upon those in a similar field of business or life to gain some horse sense, as I would call it. And I noticed that I did say horse sense, not cow sense, even though I was born on a dairy farm. I just have to bring that point out. But join the groups that will help you grow personally and professionally. A good mentor is worth gold and is worth the investment it takes to access their time and their expertise. Now, certain online courses will also inspire you and help you move ahead. I've taken a big course this year. I wanted to up my game in my online marketing and in my online courses. So, I'm always paying for courses and for different resources to help me grow because I want to be able to pass that information on. Well, I spoke just a little earlier how I recently launched Learn Music Again for those who used to play music and want to play again. And this is mainly with piano and voice, and mainly focused on piano, but I'm adding to the voice as we go along. That's been my field for so many years. I've done major headline shows. I still work with Disney now and then. And also I've taught for many, many years and very, very successfully. And it's a huge stress reliever at keeping the mind sharp. And there's, the statistics on this as well, and it creates a different community for participants. So if you are thinking about doing something else, whether or not it's music, whether it's something else, that make sure you surround yourself with great advisors or some sort of a guide that can help you through that. And again, the link to that is learnmusicagain.com. Just go ahead and check that out if you're interested at all. But when I was president of the not-for-profit National Speakers Association in Los Angeles, I was president, I think it was last year now, when this podcast airs, I focused our mission to help speakers build their business. Now, that is a great group and a community for me. In fact, I'm a part of also the national organization. It is extremely valuable to me, the resources I get there from the colleagues that are a part of it and the training I get. I pay for that training. I go to the conferences. But the camaraderie, we need that with each other. There are a lot of other organizations like that with your HR groups. And I've been a speaker at some of those conferences. I love being at those conferences and seeing the community that's coming together. And this is more important now than ever. And we can get some of that online. I look forward to actually being in person again, but find those groups that will create that mutual trust and friendship and training for you. Whether it's, some of these Zoom happy hours or Zoom meetings where you can at least see people online. But don't back off of those personal relationship and good advisors. That if you walk away with one thing, I say, even in conferences, you walk away with one thing, it will be worth it for you. Because we are, taking notes frantically, and you leave with this, like, just a bucket load of new information. I usually bring a highlighter with me, and I just highlight the couple things that I'm going to focus on, and it really helps me go through those notes. Otherwise, you won't go through your notes. So that is a tip that is worth money, by the way. So make sure you remember that one. Healthy mindset number 5. Don't be afraid to fail. This is huge. And it's one I have faced many times as an innovator and as a creative. I'm going to be totally honest here. There are the little voices that I have faced many, many times when I've embarked on something new. I'm excited about it, but then when I get going, I think, okay, if this fails, will I be really embarrassed? And how am I going to feel? Or everybody's going to come around, these experts will come around and tell me how I should have done it. I'll be embarrassed. And yeah, those are those feelings of being afraid to fail. And you have to be careful about that. And you have to recognize them, mainly recognize them and understand, there's that little demon out there again, just on my shoulder, giving me those little messages. Well, if you have taken your time and you've gone through all of the steps and you are proceeding, very solidly, you've got to move ahead, because if you never try, you'll never succeed. And you can't let that fear stop you. We can't be afraid to take off the masks at some point when we're going into a store or when we're walking out by ourselves, like on a path. I see this as well. People completely walking by themselves. Well, fresh air is so good for you. Why are you limiting that fresh air? So for most, this fear really never goes away, not fully, no matter what level you're at. You could be at a top level. We read about those stories of the models that are absolutely gorgeous that have low self-esteem. I mean, there's people at every single stage, they deal with this. So create a strong vision of where you want to be in 3 to 5 years, and your mission statement to accompany that. And for sources to do this and how to do it, you need to read Michael Hyatt's new book on creating your vision. It's an excellent book. I will put those notes in the show notes, but it's a really, really good book. I've been going through the two main areas of my business, again, which are music and in the personal professional development, and helping people reinvent their lives and using their tech tools and creating a business at the halftime of their life. And I also like Donald Miller's material on the messaging and on story. His story brand book is excellent. He just came out with a new one on marketing as well, but it's very, very good. There are resources out there. And if your messaging and your mission is strong, you have a better chance of staying on course no matter what happens. And then you can adjust along the way. So I'm going to go through those 5 again, just real quickly for you. And I hope these really help you. Number 1 is to calm down, breathe, calm down, and think logically. I know it's hard to think logically. We don't know what to think sometimes, but just, if we listen too much of the news that's coming after us with the doom and gloom, that's the way we're going to think. So be careful. Be careful about that. Number 2, don't be in a hurry to make a major decision. And I would say here, don't be in a hurry to make a decision. You don't want to put it off forever, but at least give it enough time to think about it. And what will help you think about it is number 3, is to write out your thoughts logically and journal. Journal doesn't have to be long at all. It could be a couple sentences a day. It could be 5 minutes a day even to start. You're going to want more, but just start. Number 4, surround yourself with good advisors. I really appreciate you listening to this podcast and to this episode. I never take that for granted. And I want to be able to give as much as possible at this point in my life. I am at halftime, and it's a very important part of my life and time of my life to be able to do this. And I feel very equipped. I've been given a lot to be able to do that. And so find those people around you that can give to you, that can help you through your journey. Look for those. You have to seek them out. And they're there. You just have to find them. And number 5, don't be afraid to fail. And you want to be able to look ahead and not panic at the moment. And what will really help you is to create that strong vision and your mission. And take some time to do that. In fact, it could take a day. You might need a day out to be able to just focus on that and to kind of get centered again. So I really hope you've enjoyed this this episode. It's been so much fun for me to put together. And really, when I put these together, I am reviewing all of these principles in my own life. And it's the things I am actively also applying. So I'm right along with everyone else that's going through this. So I am so excited for next week. So make sure that you tune in. I have interviewed Veena Prashanth, and it's all about membership sites. I've had so many questions on this lately. I have had a membership site for a long period of time, but I'm bumping up my game. I'm starting it even more because I'm seeing the value, not only as a business owner, but as with my clients and with keeping them consistent. One of the best things that has happened through the years when I've taught privately, I don't teach privately anymore in the music field, but it is the fact that they have to show up every week. And that keeps them accountable. And I have planned performances for them at least twice a year. It keeps them going on their goals. And sure, I give them information. They will never outgrow what my information is, but I've got little goals for them, and it keeps them motivated, keeps them excited, and that's what membership does for you. And Veena is the co-creator of Digital Access Pass, a program that I believe in so strongly. I think it's one of the best out there. There are other membership sites, and we talk about those a little bit, but we really talk about what she has created and her passion for this. And she's from India. She's a delightful interview. You'll want to tune in. And I really thank you for listening today. And if you like this, please tell your friends. And I'd really, really love it if you left me a review. So again, this is Deborah Johnson, and for goalsforyourlife.com, womenathalftime.com. And I look forward to seeing you again next week, or being with you again, I should say, because this is a podcast, but I really look forward to being with you again. So bye for now. Thank you for joining us on Women at Halftime. Visit goalsforyourlife.com or womenathalftime.com for many more resources, downloads, and programs, or to get in touch with me. I'd love it if you leave me a review and tell your friends. So until next time, this is Deborah Johnson, signing off.